Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope all of you are having an awesome week so far. Welcome Abraham. Hi Anna Fuang. Nice to see many of our members. Welcome Ariadna Hoang, Baba Huen. Good to see many regular students. And welcome Carolina, our chat moderator. Everybody, you will see Carolina in blue in the chat. She is here to help make this class go smoothly and help you with your IELTS questions. This is an IELTS listening class. We're going to do a listening exercise in this class. We are going to listen to a part 1 and part 2 of an exam with strategies and answers. The topics will be returning a monitor and the benefit of charities. Students, these materials, this IELTS listening is brought to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are our websites. They power these live classes. This is what the academic website looks like here with the blue background. You can click that red button that's just to my side and you can get access to all of our practice exams, listening, reading, videos, and lots more apps for your phone. We're an IDP affiliate, a British Council partner, and an IELTS test registration center. We help thousands of students to pass their IELTS exam every week. Use the code DISH9 for an additional 10% discount. On GIELTS, it's the same. Click the big red button at gieltshelp.com with the green background, and you can use that code here also. We'll come back to the website for the listening in just a moment. Am I watching the Olympics? D-Lights, I wish I had more time to do so. I haven't really had time, but I have kept up with the gold medal count. Japan doing really well with gold medals for sure. US has a lot of medals, but not as many gold as Japan, yesterday anyway. All right, everybody. If you are watching the Olympics, that is awesome. Students who are premium users of the website, I sent you your Zoom links. If you are a premium user on the website, you get 2 extra live classes like this each week. So Anna, Ariadna, Pardis, you should see those Zoom links. Deborah, you should see them as well. If you're curious, students, what those classes might look like, check out this link. I'll drop this into the chat and you can see what those premium classes look like. The apps are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. You can download the apps and link them to the websites. The Instagram is IELTS_AEHelp and GIELTS Help, and you can check out Instagram too. Students, if you have questions about us, the websites, IELTS, exams, send me an email. Adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. We are leaders when it comes to IELTS preparation. We don't give you tricks and weird little strategies that don't work. We give you skills that help you to pass the IELTS exam. So the schedule for the rest of July and the start of August listening is right now. Tomorrow we'll do speaking here on YouTube at the same time. And then for premium students, we'll have task 2 writing on Thursday and more speaking on Friday, which will be purely through Zoom. Okay. Friend, I'm going to share some listening skills with you right now. You can always check out this video for a bit of extra study. All right. So listening skills. The first strategy that you should always remember while you listen is you should visualize. It means you should see the content. You should imagine yourself in the situation. So today we're looking at this listening exercise here. This is listening test 5. You can kind of see it up here. And you have a few seconds at the start to look at the questions. So the questions are, what day did the man buy the product? When you see this kind of a question, now this is an example, then you should always turn that into a statement that you might hear, like, I bought this product 10 days ago. Okay, ... Maybe that's what he will say. So it's probably not going to be a question, right? What product did the man purchase? I bought this monitor with my credit card. So how are you going to hear that information? Think about that. Okay. It will be statements and not questions. Now you should imagine that this is you. You're the one who is in the shop returning this item. What are you going to say? What are you going to do? What will you inquire about? What are you going to ask? Right? So you have to think about all of this when you're looking at these questions. Really think critically and visualize yourself in the situation. All right, students, I will give you lots more tips and strategies as we go through this listening, and we will do it as kind of a workshop together. So I'm going to put on my headphones. If you have a headphone, definitely do the same. And we're going to now jump over to our website. We'll use the academic version for now, aehelp.com, although the listening is the same in the general, everybody. Okay. So we'll get into the My Student account. And then I'm just going to double check and make sure we've got our desktop audios going. Good. So in your My Student account, you've got computer-based practice exams, lots of them with all the parts. You've got a full online interactive course where you have tips for the listening section. And for those of you who have access, I highly, highly recommend going through each and every one of these slides and tips in detail in the course. This is kind of what I'm teaching you right now, the information in these slides, okay? So the listening has 4 sections. Each one has 10 questions, and each is a different topic. All right. Let's just close that for now. Let's go to the lesson audio CDs, and then we'll go to test 5 CD 1. Here we go, everybody. Answer while you listen. Don't put the answers in the chat. We will go through the answers together at the end. Here we go.
This recording is copyrighted by 2 Think One Solutions Inc. and World ESL Tutors. You will hear several different recordings, and you will answer questions on what you hear. There will be time given to read the instructions and questions, and you will be given a chance to check your work. The recordings will be played only once. The test is made up of 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to section 1. Listening section 1. You will hear a conversation between 2 people as one tries to return a defective product. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example. This time only, The conversation relating to this question will be played.
Good afternoon. I bought a product from your store 1 week ago, and I've been having difficulties getting it to work properly.
Of course, sir. Do you have the original receipt from the purchase? The first piece of information I need is the date you purchased the product.
Yes, I actually have it right here. I purchased it 8 days ago, on the 6th of July.
The 6th of July. Great.
The man says he purchased the item on July 6th, so this answer has been indicated for you. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good afternoon. I bought a product from your store 1 week ago, and I've been having difficulties getting it to work properly.
Of course, sir. Do you have the original receipt from the purchase? The first piece of information I need is the date you purchased the product.
Yes, I actually have it right here. I purchased it 8 days ago, on the 6th of July.
The 6th of July. Great. I also need the name of the product as indicated on the receipt.
Certainly. The receipt shows it as SOJO 232XD.
SOJO 232XD?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, yes. I see the product in my records now. It is a 23-inch computer monitor?
Yes, that's correct.
Now tell me, did you buy the extended warranty on the monitor?
No, I did not. I always feel like those warranties are a bit of a scam.
Perhaps, until you need the warranty?
Perhaps. But there must be some sort of manufacturer's warranty, right?
There may be. Let me check for you. Okay. Yes, it seems there is a manufacturer's warranty. The warranty is for 60 days. 2 months.
Great. Then I shouldn't encounter any problems in returning it.
Well, actually, we only accept returns for a week after purchase. Since you purchased the computer monitor 8 days ago, you'll have to deal directly with the manufacturer.
How annoying. What steps must I take then?
Well, the company that makes the monitor has a depot in Birmingham. You must post it to them.
Okay. Do you have their address?
Yes, it's on Edgbaston Park Road and...
Hold on. You'll have to spell Edgbaston for me. I've never heard of it.
Of course. It is spelled EDGBASTON.
And then the rest of the address?
The address number is 89 and the unit number is 5.
Okay. So 89 Edgbaston Park Road, Unit 5.
That's right. And the postcode is B152RU.
B152RU?
That's right.
You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 6 to 10.
Great, but one concern I have is the cost of posting something as large as a computer monitor.
Indeed. Such a product must weigh a few kilos and will certainly set you back some money to post. Let me see if the company takes such a problem into consideration.
Well, that would certainly be nice if they did.
Yes, it seems they do. They have a program in place where they pay postage for the exchange of goods under manufacturer warranty or product recall.
That's great news. What do I have to do to use this service?
It's fairly simple. You just call their Birmingham depot and request a prepaid postage voucher. Then you take the item to the post office along with the voucher, and the post office will take care of the rest.
Sounds simple enough. Do you have a phone number for the depot in Birmingham?
Yes, you can reach them on 0121 496 0633. Oh, and be sure to call during business hours. They're open from 10 in the morning until 6 in the evening.
10 until 6, understood. One final question. What would I have had to do to return the monitor if I had purchased the extended warranty from your store?
Well, The process would have been much simpler, sir. You could have simply brought it into the return desk at your local store. We would have given you your choice of a new monitor, your cash back, or store credit in the amount of 110% of the original cost of the item.
110% store credit? Wow, that seems too good to be true.
Well, company policy is that we want satisfied customers, and when they are not satisfied, we feel the need to compensate them for this in some small measure.
Perhaps next time I'll buy the extended warranty. How much would it have cost on the monitor I bought?
Only £20.
£20 would have been well worth it to save me the trouble of dealing directly with the manufacturer.
Well, now you know, sir.
Indeed I do. Thanks again.
That is the end of section 1. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, students, back to the website here. We'll just pause that audio before we get into part 2. Students, always check your answers in that time. A lot of students go and rush into the next section and don't use that time for checking answers. Check your answers because oftentimes you're going to find some simple little mistakes and save some marks. Okay, so make sure to use your time at the end of each section to check your answers. Okay, again, it's a very important tip. All right, for multiple choice questions, again, turn the question into a statement, just like I showed you. All right, let's look through some of these answers and then we'll talk a little bit more strategy. Okay. All right. So this kind of an example, they don't give you anymore since 2020. They took out the example from the listening, but it's nice for practice, and you have this in your practice materials. So the example here, the question is, what day did the man buy the product? And he literally said, very close to what I wrote, he said, I purchased it 8 days ago on the 6th of July. So the answer is 6th of July, and that is the correct response. And then the next question was, what product did the man purchase? Now, this information came a little bit later, and hopefully all of you got it. It was relatively simple. It was a computer monitor. So the answer is B. Make sure you don't write computer monitor in the paper-based exam, but you write B. Okay? And Anna and Nat always write capital letters. Okay, so big B. Big B. B. All right, now, this is an interesting one here. We call these the multiple choice questions. And again, in your course, everybody, in your courseware, in the listening section where I showed you, you have tips for all 11 types of questions. Okay. And if you run out of practice exams, you can always get tons more here with Test Glider. We've got a really good deal with them. So with these multiple choice questions, the best strategy is to take notes. Okay, so multiple choice questions. Let's do it like that. With these ones, take notes as you listen. There's too much to read. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. So with this question, it says, what two pieces of information are required to access the record of the purchase? And in my notes, I wrote down that the lady needs the name and the date of the product. So it's not this, because that's the specific product, right? That's what she's looking for. So she doesn't know what that is necessarily until she has the name and the date. Okay. And the 6th of July is also the specific date, right? So that's what she needs, is that date and that name. So the correct answers are E, purchase date, and F, name of the product. Okay, So these are the answers. That's what she needs. The man has this information, but the woman needs this information. So always think logically, right, Pardis? It's a little bit tricky because the man spells out, oh, it's the SOJO 232, but she's asking for that, right? She's like, what's the name of this product? She doesn't know it until he gives it to her. Makes sense, right? So what two pieces of information are required to access the record? The name and the date are required, not the specifics. Okay? It's for any product. So the correct answers are E and F. A little bit of a tricky one, but it does make sense if you think critically, right? When you see these as possible answers, then you should start to think, why do they have that? Okay. All right. So in the IELTS, everybody, logic is extremely important. Just really, really good logic. Okay. All right. So here we had some fill in the blanks. And sometimes, you know, when you're listening, you really want to pay attention to these kinds of numbers and names to position yourself in the audio. So in the speaker here, she says they have an office in Birmingham. Names are just a really good way to know that you've got some answers coming up after. Okay, everybody clear on that? So that's another important strategy here, okay? So use numbers and names to position yourself in the audio. Okay. I see some 100% flying up, so I'm guessing that that is clear. All right, so getting back to this here, the address. What's the address, everybody? Okay, so what was it? It was something Park Road, Unit 5, and they give it the number and then a name. Very good, Nat. So it was 89 Edge Bastion. Like that. They spelled it twice. In part 1, they often will spell twice, so make sure to check, okay? That's again another tip, everybody. So be patient. Be patient in part 1. They often give the answers and in that the spelling twice, sometimes even 3 times. Okay. All right, let's keep going. So questions 6 to 7, these are little fill in the blanks. You really have to pay attention to what's coming. You probably remember that I wrote the word noun here, like noun. It's noun coming. You can see it's a end of this sentence. Often we'll have the object, noun. And so here it was an adjective and a noun together. What was it? What was the answer here? So in order to get, and you should especially when you're reviewing, read the whole sentence so that it makes sense. In order to get free delivery on product returns, the customer must telephone the depot and request a prepaid. Very nice, Salman. Salman says a prepaid postage voucher. Yeah, postage is the adjective. So postage voucher. It's basically a piece of paper that says paid for. Okay. Phone number, really get used to the dictation of numbers. For those of you who have access to the website, everyone, in your audio, you have numbers, days of the week as separate audio at the very end. In the bonus audio on the website.
Numbers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
All right, so listen to that again in your premium version of your course so that you get really familiar with those numbers. And those are, of course, British speakers on the website. So what's the phone number for the depot? Number 7, everybody. What is the phone number? Where should this man call to get, I think, this prepaid postage voucher is what he's calling to get? Anybody catch that phone number? I didn't, so I hope you did. Okay. The phone number, it was, I think, like 8 numbers. 8 or 9 numbers. I did not write it down, so I'm relying on you here. Okay, well, I will leave it to you to find out. Some of you are premium students, so you can go back and find out what that phone number is for the depot. All right, question number 8, again, multiple choice. Now, sometimes the IELTS is kind of funny this way. They actually test your simple math skills in English. So here the question was, for how many hours is the depot open each day? And it was a little bit tricky. I think the woman said something like it's open from 10 till 6. I think that's what was said. And 10 till 6 is, yes, very good. Nat, Anna, Pardis, it's 8 hours, right? So 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. is 8 hours. Perfect, yeah, because it's a 12-hour clock, right? So 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then we had another multiple choice. Which 3 options are customers given upon returning an item having purchased the warranty? Notes. This is what I said. They can bring it in. They get a choice of a monitor. They get cash back or 100% store credit. So, exchange of the item for a new one. Yeah, choice of monitor. 100% store credit. No, it was 110. Free postage. No. Cash back. Yeah. 110% store credit. That looks good. £20. Nope. So the answers are A, D, and E in any order. A, D, and E. Anna, making notes is much easier. It's maybe tricky a little bit, but it's still easier than staring at all of these possible options while listening. So making notes, in my opinion, you're right, Anna, it's not the easiest, but in my opinion, it's easier than reading while listening. Because in one you're transcribing, in the other you're trying to double information, okay? So think about it that way. It's a good point, Hannah. Anna's like, well, it's tricky to take notes while listening. That's why you have to practice. So practice taking notes while listening. Although this is a bit tricky, it is still easier than reading at the same time as listening. Okay? Do you get what I mean by that? Okay. So, yes, you're right, Anna. I agree with you. Taking notes can be tricky, but not as tricky as reading while you're listening. Okay. All right. So the last one here, the woman mentions an item that costs $20. What is this item? Computer monitor. That's just silly. There's no computer monitor for £20. Extended warranty. Maybe. Manufacturer's warranty. That's always included with your purchase. So it has to be B. Right? Again, logic, everybody. Logic. Okay, how did you do out of 10 for part 1? ideally, if you're going for a band score 6.5 or higher, you got at least, I would say 9 from... Okay. All right, Salman says 10 out of 10. That's really good. Sultan, that's exactly what you want to go for. William, 9 out of 10 is good. That's your goal. Well done, students. Okay, and moving along, we'll just jump right into part 2. So you're going to notice that part 2 is quite a bit more challenging. It's a much more specific topic. It's more challenging vocabulary, but don't panic. Just stay the course. Keep visualizing. Keep answering with the same strategies. Here we go, everybody. Let's do this. So again, back to our website, aehelp.com. We're going to go to CD 5, track 2, because this is exam 5. You get 6 full practice exams. Students, I highly recommend using the premium course. You're going to save yourself lots of time and money in the end. Okay, here we go.
Now turn to section 2. Take some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Listening section 2. You will hear a recording of a radio news magazine discussing the importance of doing good in the community. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully to the interview and answer questions 11 to 16.
Hello, I'm Emma Robertson, and I'd like to welcome our listeners to Beyond the Lens, the programme that aims to dig deeper on issues in culture and society. Today we have Professor Hudson McMahon from the University of Bristol's Department of Social Policy. Hello, Professor McMahon. Do you want to tell us a little about what you'll be presenting today?
Of course, Emma. But first, I'd like to thank you for having me on the show. My wife and I are both avid listeners of Beyond the Lens, and it's a bit of a thrill to be on the show. But I digress. Today, I want to talk about the importance of doing good in the community and in society. There are many ways of doing this, but the 2 most common ways are volunteering and giving to charity. However, these methods of improving community and society have an important difference. While volunteering one's time is almost always a positive for society, giving to charity is significantly more problematic.
Problematic, Professor McMahon? It would seem to me that giving to charity is always a positive for society. We celebrate those among us who are the greatest donors to charity.
Yes, and in general, it is warranted. I do want to clarify. In general, giving to charity is good, but one must be very careful for 2 reasons. First, some charities do not do sufficient amounts of charitable good per pound. And second, some charities receive too much money that could be spent better on other causes. Let me discuss each of these in turn.
This seems to me a rather radical thesis.
It seems that way, but I hope to convince you otherwise by the end of the program. Now, getting back to charities. Some charities simply do not give a lot of their received monies to the actual performance of good acts. For instance, some charities utilize less than 10% of their donations on actual charitable activities. The rest goes to salaries, promotion, and other overhead costs. So for a donation of £100, it may be the case that less than £10 actually goes to helping someone.
That sounds terrible, but it still helps people, right?
Well, yes, but as charitable givers, we should try and reward those charities who do most good with the least amount of money. By that I mean that those thinking of donating to charity should do research on a charity before giving to the cause. There are other charities where more than 50% of donations go to the end cause. These charities are much more deserving of your patronage.
You now have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 17 to 20.
Another reason to be discerning when it comes to your choice of charities is what I call the relative utility of a charitable donation.
Let me take a guess here, Professor McMahon. Is the relative utility of a donation how much good it does relative to other donations?
That's just about it, Emma. The relative utility of a donation is how much good a donation does per amount spent. For instance, the disease MND, motor neuron disease, was in the news in recent years, and MND charities received a windfall of donations. This sounds all well and good, but there is a problem. Unlike, say, heart disease, MND does not affect very many people. While it would be wonderful to cure the disease, there are better allocations of our limited charity funds.
Wait, so you're saying it was bad for people to give to MND charities?
Not quite, only that it was suboptimal. Because there is limited supply of money given to charity each year, it is important that it is used at least somewhat optimally. And allocating overwhelming amounts of money to a disease that affects very low percentage of people is extremely suboptimal.
That's very interesting, Professor McMahon. So how can our listeners try and optimize their charitable gifts?
First of all, don't be caught up in viral social media campaigns. Instead, use such moments to remind yourself of the importance of giving to charity in general, and not just to niche causes with good promotion. And second, do your research. Before you donate, look up how much of a charity's donation go to the actual end goal. Additionally, look up how many people are affected by the charity's end cause. The more people there are affected, and the worse they are affected, the more likely you should be to donate to that cause. It is all about maximizing good in the world.
That certainly sounds like a noble goal, but if everyone donates...
That is the end of section 2. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
And again, students, check those answers in that half a minute. All right, let me just stop that audio. We'll go through the answers together. So at the very, very beginning of the listening, you probably saw that I moved through all the sections. So I kind of knew it was charities that was coming up in volunteering because I checked this section at the very beginning during the instruction time. And I also checked the other sections as well. Anybody catch what those other sections will be about? So keep this strategy in mind, students. It's very helpful. At the very start, with the long instructions, check the topic of each of the 4 parts. They call them parts. So the first one was the warranty. This one is charity. Does anybody remember what part 3 will be about? By the way, everybody, we will look at part 3 and part 4 of this listening next Tuesday. So we will finish the full listening here. Anybody remember what it was? It was international trade. Anybody remember what number or part 4 is? Number 31 to 40? That's right, Ariadna. It was Michelangelo, the famous painter, sculptor. All right. You want to check those because you want your brain to start thinking about those before you get to it. I thought that was really helpful for me here, knowing that they're going to be talking about charities. So here they say the name of the show twice. They don't say radio show, they just say the show. Anybody catch what it is? And it has to be capital letters for the start of the words here because it's the name. Prince, it's not called Remembers. What is it? Anybody? So the woman says, welcome to our weekly show, this, and then the man says, my wife and I are avid listeners of this show. Very good, Fuang. Now, Fuang, you don't need to capitalize the article. I know it's really tricky, but you don't need to capitalize it. And Ayadeji, you've got the last word wrong. It's Beyond the lens. Beyond the lens has a meaning, everybody. It means like beyond the camera lens. So you have the camera, right? There's your lens. Okay, so it's beyond the lens, like the person that the camera or the situation that the camera is looking at. So that's why it's called Beyond the Lens. It's not just any old name. It has a meaning. I bet you there's probably a TV show or a radio show in the world that's like that if you Googled it. Okay, so beyond the lens. So past the lens of the camera. Does that make sense? Okay, so beyond the lens, it was a little bit tricky, but if you really pay attention, you should catch it. Again, check the transcripts at the back of the book, everybody, if you don't catch it. Okay, here, this was a matching information question for listening. Again, this is described in your course on the website. Applies to volunteering, charitable giving, or neither. A, B, or C. Number 12, affects fewer people but may be highly inefficient. So it doesn't affect a lot of people and it doesn't work. Answer should be C. Okay, it's neither. And if you get these other ones correct, 13, 14, 15, then this one is clearly C. Let's keep going and I'll show you why this is C after. So can be problematic for various reasons. So can be a problem for a few different reasons. Is it volunteering or is it charitable giving? I'll explain that. Just hang in there. So number 13. Yep, that one's B, and many of you got that, right? So, can be problematic for various reasons. B, that's charitable giving because of advertising costs, salary costs, giving to the wrong charity. Okay, is almost always a positive action for society. Number 14, which one is that? That's right, Pardis, very good. So, A. Okay, subject to many overhead costs. Last one here, 15. Yeah, Sultan, that's a great way to do it. Students, the way Sultan is doing it is the easiest way for me because there's like 6 seconds between us. So Sultan says 14 is B. So 15 is B. Right? So the correct answers are C, B, A, B. Okay? Now for this, we have to understand the clear difference between the two. So what is volunteering? What does that mean, everybody? What does the concept of volunteering actually mean? What is volunteering? So I volunteer to help children in an orphanage, or I volunteer to help rescue animals. What does that mean? Okay, enjoy in all things says help others. Well, help others is true, but it's too general. Kamalidin says to do something that you want to do. Maybe, maybe not. You might volunteer with something that you don't want to do, but you want the end result. Okay, volunteering means that you give time. You give time. Okay, what is charity? There's an important difference here. Pardis, you could be raising money with volunteering, but you're not giving it, right? You could be helping to raise it, though. Enjoy in all things, it's not compulsory time. Charitable giving means to give time, right? Charitable giving means to give money. Okay, so you're giving money. That's the key difference here, and it's very important to understand that. So volunteering, you give time. Charitable giving, you give money. Okay? All right, it's that simple. So affects fewer people but maybe highly inefficient is neither. Because volunteering, you're giving time, is always going to be efficient. So this is always efficient. If you're helping somebody cross the road, if you're playing with kids, if you're giving a bath to a dog that's a stray dog that needs some medical attention, Pardis, you're a veterinarian, you know this. It's going to be inefficient. We can't say it's highly inefficient. So volunteering might affect a few people, but it's efficient. Charitable giving does not affect few people. Charitable giving affects a lot of people, right? Because charities collect lots of money from lots of people and it affects lots of people. So this has to be neither. When you understand these choices, then it becomes relatively simple. So for this kind of matching answers, it's really important that you understand the meaning of the choices, okay? Okay, so you have to understand them clearly. Okay, if you understand them clearly, it makes a lot of sense, right? Okay, number 16. What are 2 reasons charities can be inefficient? Now that you understand charities a little bit more, you'll probably get these. Must pay salaries of employees. They give less than 10% of money received to the actual cause. The promotion of the charity. Doing the most good with the least money. Some causes are not as important as others. Okay, Party says 100% understood. Valid. Good luck on your exam on Thursday. This one, they said very clearly, they give less than 10% of money received to the actual cause. That's one reason. So it was B. And then what was the other one? Doing the most good with the least money is not a reason for it to be inefficient. So it can't be D. Okay. James says, oh man, I should have used my logic. Yeah, logic, I'm careful to say this, but logic can help you answer about half the questions in the listening. So so this is inefficient, right? It means it's a problem. They give less than 10% of the money received to the actual cause. It's inefficient. And then the other reason is they say this is the promotion. So it's B and C. Just think about all those advertisings that you see for charities. Give to this charity, give to that charity. It's very expensive to advertise. So the 2 answers that they mention are B and C. Okay? Again, if you picked it from your own life experiences, you're like, oh, wait a second. Yeah, all those advertisements, that must take a lot of money on TV and the internet. Google ads are not free for anyone, even for charities. All right. So here we had an example. And the speaker says, okay, there's charities, and then there are charities that require a lot of attention, like heart disease, right? A lot of people die from heart attacks and heart problems. So it affects many people. And so it's a good use of money. Now, this, going to the other side, is the versus. So it's the opposite example. So here we have another kind of illness, right? 17 is MND, but everybody, you have to make sure that you put the letter here and not the word. So it's F. If you actually write MND into the space in the paper-based exam, you'll get it wrong. In the computer-based, it will be a drag and drop for this kind, or you just write the letter, so it'll be easier. Number 18 is A. Yes, it affects fewer people, right? Because again, it's the opposite of many. So few people, very good. Anna and Hamid. And then 19, again, is going to be the opposite. So supporting charities for heart disease is a good use of money. And number 19, it's inefficient. They don't use the word inefficient. What word do they use? What's the word they use for inefficient? Watch the paraphrasing, everybody. Paraphrasing is very important in the listening. What's the word that they use? Who remembers it? Very nice. Yes, very nice, furry boars. Very nice, parties. They say suboptimal. Suboptimal. Yes, very good, Alexander. I hope you're having a great week. Nice to see you in class. Suboptimal is the word. All right, number 20. According to the guest, what is the main goal of charitable giving? He really explains and emphasizes this, so hopefully you got it. I mean, he's just like, okay, you have to do your research and you have to figure out where to give your money, because when you're planning to give your money, you know, you worked hard for that money and you have to make sure that money goes to a really good cause. Abraham says it's all about maximizing the good that you can do with your money. Yeah, absolutely. So C was the final answer. All right, students that were here in the class today, what did you get from 20? Now, again, in a perfect world for that upcoming IELTS exam to get a 6.5 or higher, I always tell students for part 1 and 2, your goal should be 16 or more. Okay. Noble goal. Yes, that's right, parties. The most noble goal. So Abraham, 14 is a little bit on the low end. Nat, same thing. 14 is a little bit on the low end. Sultan, 19 is quite good. It's nice and high. It's going to end well when it's 19. Enjoy in all things, 15. Fuang, 17 is good. Kamaluddin says, I came here 5 minutes ago. Fair enough, Kamaluddin. You can review the class because it is being recorded. Students, for scores on the website, at the very bottom, there is a score calculator. Of course, this is for when you complete the entire test. I'll put it here. We'll do part 3 and 4 next week, and then when you put your score in, like, let's say 32, it'll give you like 7.5 as the answer there, right? So again, if you enjoyed this class and you want to get all 6 of our practice exams, I highly recommend joining our premium course by clicking the big red button here at aehelp.com. For general IELTS, listening is the same, so gieltshelp.com. Same concept. Okay. I'll put the URL into the chat there for everybody. M7MD, yeah, I just put that link in there. It's just right above. It's just like three comments above your question. Okay. So there's the general IELTS full course. There's the academic full course, and tomorrow I'll come back with speaking, and we'll actually do some speaking through Zoom tomorrow. Okay, everyone? So I really hope I will see you all tomorrow at the same time for our speaking practice. Remember all of these notes for the listening, and remember you have all of this information available to you on the websites, aehelp.com, gieltshelp.com. Hopefully I see you back here with me studying more, because you're all beautiful brains, beautiful individuals, and you should always keep your chin up and just push forward. Much love to all of you wherever you are in the world today. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from Victoria, Canada for now. Bye, everybody.